Therefore, the validity of the disorder continues to be a problem.
Pero esta escandalosa admisión no detuvo a los psiquiatras de las escuelas. 2 años después, el número de estudiantes americanos diagnosticados con el TDAH se elevó a 6 millones. Hoy, a 20 millones de niños en el mundo se les ha etiquetado con algún tipo de trastorno de aprendizaje, un diagnóstico a menudo hecho en cuestión de minutos.
We would sit behind a two-way mirror along with the parents. We would then look at the child. We would do small manipulative activities with them to see where their deficit was. It was wrong what we were doing. We were looking at a 5-minute glimpse of this child's life and saying, okay, here you go. Here's a little pill, take it, you'll be fine.
Esas pildoritas como Ritalin, Adderall y Concerta las clasifica la Administración para el Control de Estupefacientes de Estados Unidos como sustancias muy adictivas, igual que la cocaína, la heroína y la metanfetamina.
When I was on the Ritalin, it made me just feel like totally different, like I wasn't even who I was.
I was, flipping out, was twitching, going crazy.
I felt like I was out of it all the time, like I wasn't there, I wasn't human.
You're just a zombie, pretty much. You do what you can just to get by and just don't do anything extra.
My mother never teased me, but she thought I really had ADHD and I was wrong, and I had something wrong with me. So I thought she'd feel bad and feel sorry for me if I died, but then again, I thought that she would miss me a lot, and I also love her a little more than I wanted to kill myself. And so I stopped when I realized that.
La abundancia de medicamentos recetados creó una nueva fuente de ingreso para los chicos: vender sus medicamentos a sus compañeros.
It's called kitty cocaine. They take the Ritalin and they just repackage it and they sell it on campus to the kids because it's like speed.
I figured if I was going to do drugs, I might as well make it worth it. And I ended up doing street drugs and then ended up getting into it really bad.
We're looking at marijuana and other things as being gateway drugs, and actually the so-called medications are a greater gateway drug.
The Ritalin drugs are backfiring big time because if the child is already disruptive and he takes cocaine, he's going to be a lot more disruptive after he's taken it. It is not going to calm him down.
Boom! She got on the drugs and her personality changed, her behaviors changed, they became erratic and dark and violent, and it was just a nightmare.
He kept having adverse reactions, becoming very, very angry. He could not control his behavior, he couldn't control his temper.
He was on 5 different psych meds, Prozac and lithium, and he was 7 years old. And he was unable to function. He would have rages and then crying and all kinds of just violent rages, grabbing knives and all of this.
The list includes 15-year-old Kip Kinkle withdrawing from Prozac when he shot 22 classmates, killing 2 after murdering his mother and stepfather at his home in Springfield, Oregon. 18-year-old Jason Hoffman on Effexor and Celexa when he opened fire at his California high school, wounding 5. 15-year-old Sean Cooper on a mix of antidepressants when he shot students in Idaho. And 17-year-old Eric Harris on Luvox when he and partner Dylan Klebold killed 12 classmates and a teacher in the bloodiest school massacre yet, Columbine.
Y todo esto eclipsa la mismísima razón de que los niños acudan a la escuela en primer lugar, para recibir una educación. Desde 1970, Estados Unidos ha caído del 9º al 28º lugar en el mundo académico. Durante ese mismo periodo, el número de estudiantes americanos etiquetados con trastornos de aprendizaje se disparó y la venta de drogas para el TDAH se multiplicó 32 veces.
Children don't ask for psychiatric drugs. Children don't ask to be diagnosed. They don't want to be called crazy. So you ask the classic Roman question, legal question, cui bono, who benefits? The people who make the diagnosis.
psychiatry should actually go into government, that politicians should listen to psychiatrists. Psychiatrists should be in every parliament and should direct and monitor political activities.
En poco más de un siglo, la psiquiatría se ha infiltrado en la sociedad a escala global. Y no fue un accidente.
People aren't aware that in 1940, a prominent British psychiatrist, Colonel J.R. Rees, addressed the National Council on Mental Hygiene and set the agenda for psychiatry for the next 60 years. Since then, psychiatrists have been given authority in nearly every sector of our society, with tragic results.
We must aim to make it permeate every educational activity in our national life. Public life, politics, and industry should all of them be within our sphere of influence. We have made a useful attack upon a number of professions. The two easiest of them, naturally, are the teaching profession and the church. The most difficult are law and medicine.
El colega de Rees, el psiquiatra G. Brock Chisholm, cofundador de la Federación Mundial de Salud Mental, más tarde detalló los planes de la psiquiatría.
To achieve world government, it is necessary to remove from the minds of men their individualism, loyalty to family traditions, national patriotism, and religious dogmas.
Para implementar su plan maestro, los psiquiatras americanos convencieron al Congreso de Estados Unidos que la enfermedad mental era una amenaza nacional que solo ellos, con un enorme aumento de fondos, podrían resolver. Y así comenzaron los enormes gastos del gobierno de Estados Unidos para la investigación psiquiátrica, que ha escalado de $1 millón al año en 1946 a $1.4 mil millones hoy, un incremento de más de 139,000%. Al esparcirse la influencia psiquiátrica en Estados Unidos, también se esparcía en todo el mundo. Detrás de cada crisis mundial se encontrará la mano de la psiquiatría. Por ejemplo, el psiquiatra serbio Jovan Raskovic, quien exigió la limpieza étnica de croatas y musulmanes debido a su firme creencia en su inferioridad racial. El resultado fue Bosnia en la década de 1990, donde el colega de Raskovic, el psiquiatra Radovan Karadzic, y el primer ministro Slobodan Milosevic establecieron campos de concentración en los Balcanes, donde una vez más se torturó en masa, se violó y se asesinó a inocentes. Un psiquiatra militar explicó cómo se hizo.
C'est très difficile tuer millions de personnes. C'est très difficile, techniquement difficile. Les Allemands étaient bons techniciens et ils ne pouvaient pas, ils pouvaient seulement 6 millions de Juifs exterminés. Ils massacrent, par exemple, 100 ou 200 de personnes, ou violent 100 femmes et 100 jeunes filles, pour que les autres sont effrayés et échappent. Alors vous avez le terrain pur.
Con el condicionamiento de Pavlov de un siglo de antigüedad, unido a las técnicas modernas de control mental, psiquiatras y psicólogos pueden convertir al hombre promedio, e incluso a los niños, en asesinos en masa.
You could train them to use firearms indiscriminately. You could train them to shoot people with very little feeling or thought. You could train them to use abusive and brutalizing procedures in order to obtain information with no hesitancy, with no concern.
Así es como se crean los terroristas. Después del 11 de septiembre, Osama Bin Laden fue calificado como el cerebro detrás de los ataques. Pero el experto reconocido y comandante de Al-Qaeda es Ayman al-Zawahiri. Educado en psicología y farmacología en la Universidad del Cairo y autor del manual de entrenamiento de Al-Qaeda sobre el uso de la psiquiatría coactiva.
Memories are potent sources of motivated behavior. If you implant enough memories of specific kinds, you can shape and change the nature of human thinking and feelings.
And it was thought to be a kind of ultimate weapon, because what greater weapon could there be than control of the human mind?
You can control minds, and you can move people around, particularly when you control their lives. It's easier to control their minds.
When we look at psychiatry and psychology, social control is the primary agenda.
Y esa agenda se está poniendo en vigor en el mundo, ahora mismo, con campañas de chequeo mental presentadas al público con nombres tan inocuos como chequeo de adolescentes.
The national government is actually encouraging it and wanting to test every single kid in our public school system.
All children are put under this kind of a test for psychiatric evaluation.